The question itself is ridiculous. Of course, everyone who lived in Canada prior to 1947 were Canadian. Of course, our soldiers were Canadians. The Citizenship Act did not come into effect until 1947. So, legally speaking, while Canadians were considered British subjects prior to 1947, and from 1947 on, they were considered Canadian citizens. That's the law. But in a sense of national identity, of course, everyone that we're celebrating the War of 1812, acknowledging the people who defended Canada then as Canadians in the defense of Canada, just as our veterans in the First and Second World War were Canadians defending Canada, but they were doing so at a time when we did not have something called Canadian citizenship.
Well, you've said that you would close the loophole for the people who were born before 1947 and who do not have official citizenship. When do you plan to close that loophole?
Well, first of all, we in 2008 made amendments to the Citizenship Act, which did restore citizenship to the vast majority of so-called lost Canadians. This was unanimously supported by all parties in Parliament at the time. And we're now considering additional amendments to the Citizenship Act. It's my hope to bring forward amendments to that Act in the next few months. Don't have a precise date yet. But one of the issues we hope to address in the legislation is the very small category of people who were born to mothers abroad, who were born out of wedlock, but whose fathers were Canadian soldiers. Because under the 1947 law, the paternity of the fathers was not legally, didn't have legal status. And that's a reflection of the values of the time in 1947. And we think it's quite appropriate to go back and correct that, and to ensure that that Canadian children born out of wedlock whose fathers were soldiers, for example, should receive citizenship. And we will correct that in the next few months.